I guess I'm live now. Hey, what's up? This is George Shamoun. In this presentation, I'm gonna go over how I'm starting with JavaScript, how I'm starting to learn JavaScript and making simple examples. And in this video, I'm gonna explain the first example I made using obviously HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I made a short not too long ago, and I have a screenshot of the code that I want to explain. I can show you the code and then I can look at it and explain it. It's right here. It's this simple code. So what it is, it's a box that I created using HTML and CSS on the web page. And then I made a simple JavaScript code example to manipulate the box. Basically, I used the mouse over to change the color of the box. So you have to remember that to work with the JavaScript, you have to have elements, HTML, CSS elements. And these elements, they're called part of the DOM. When you say DOM, the document object model, it includes a tree-like structure that have the HTML elements, and basically JavaScript manipulates the DOM element, which is the HTML element. So even though with the CSS you can do a lot of styling, and you can do animation and transform functions, and you can use the hover effect, focus, and other properties that have minor, that have some animation and other properties, but it's not like JavaScript. JavaScript does more than CSS. It's basically JavaScript was built for interactivity and manipulating the DOM, and the basics of it. First, the simplest form of a JavaScript code starts with, number one, you have to select the document element. The second one, you have to create a function what you want the element to do. And the third one, you have to attach an event to the function, and the attachment of the event to the function will act on the HTML element. So basically, the first example I made is a box in HTML, CSS, and I gave it a style, color, border, and then I used JavaScript to move the mouse over the box and make the box change color. And then I used it to, even though to change the color, you can do it to rotate the box. And then I used the event mouse leave, that was the mouse over. And then I used the event mouse leave to change the color to a color I specify, and change the rotation of the box. So this is a simplest example of JavaScript. Now, some people ask the question, can you learn JavaScript without HTML, CSS? And the answer is no, because JavaScript adds interactivity to a web page and to the HTML elements. So without HTML and CSS, you won't be able to create a JavaScript, because the JavaScript interact and make changes to the DOM element, which is the HTML on a web page. So you have to have HTML, CSS. This is why my recommendation is to learn HTML, CSS and become good at it. You don't have to be an expert, but you have to be good at it. You have to be able to be comfortable creating a simple HTML element and give them a style. Then once you learn the HTML and CSS and how to use them, you start with JavaScript. And the JavaScript, you start simple, basic example like the one I told you. Let's another example you can create in JavaScript. You can, let's say, create a box. You create a box and give it a color and a border, and when you click on the box, that's a function you want to do on the HTML element. When you click on a box, the color changes and the border changes from a square with perfect 90-degree angle to a square with curved angle. So this is another example I did, and they are on my web page. If you want to check them out, you can go to my website, georgekcwebservices.com, and you go to the navigation bar. There is uh, there is uh, uh, there is a tab that it says JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and then you go below it. There are tabs, links to the example 1, example 2, example 3, and example 4. Every time you click one of those examples, it's going to take you to a web page, and the web page will show you the JavaScript example I'm talking about. I have 4 now. I'm going to be adding more. But make sure you visit my website. And if you're interested in learning how to code using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, subscribe to my channel, because I want to grow it. I need your help. And in return, I'll make more videos like these live stream, and I can answer your questions. So again, we're talking about web page coding using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let's see if somebody have a question. If you have a question, please submit it in a comment so I can answer it now on this live stream. And if you are on a replay in the future, I can answer you too. But right now, if you submit your question, I can answer you right now while I am live on this live stream. So let's see who's in the on a comment box. Welcome, guys. Welcome for. Thank you for joining, and thanks for tuning in. Make sure you submit your comments so I can give you a shout out. Shout out to Pop. Keep it up, man. I believe in you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to Jason Voorhees. Welcome. Teach me how to speak English. Oh, what are you tuning in from, Jason? Are you overseas? Where are you from? Where are you tuning in? So, and what language you speak? This is my question. What language do you speak? So, guys, if you have any questions, submit it in a comment. And if you have not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. I think I've seen your names. You seem to be familiar. So, but if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I want to grow it, and I need your help. And in return, I can help you with the answering questions and teach you stuff about coding. So let's see. Questions. Anybody have a question about making simple example in JavaScript? Simple example. Again, the JavaScript adds interactivity to a web page, but you have to have HTML, CSS elements, and you have to learn those. Then you add the interactivity, and do not start with JavaScript unless you learn how to use HTML, CSS, because JavaScript will manipulate, is used to interact with the web page and manipulate the HTML element. So you have to have JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and then you can add the JavaScript. So anybody have a question? If you have a question, submit it in a comment. So yeah, you can do a lot with the CSS. You can do animation. You can do transform. Um, but it won't be like JavaScript. I haven't gotten into JavaScript animation yet. I'm still starting. I started learning JavaScript not too long ago. I know the basics, and I created a simple examples. They'll be on my website. I might add it in a link below. So yeah. So if you have any question about the coding using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, make sure you submit it in a comment, and so I can answer you. And it's an important skill to learn. JavaScript, HTML, CSS are the building block of a web page. These are the basics to learn, to start with web development and web design. And they are important skills. It's good to learn, especially if you're not a programmer. These are coding languages for web development, and they are technical, and but they are not very difficult like programming languages. So yeah, programming languages like Java, C, C++, C Sharp, those are programming languages. Um, yeah, I'm not into programming, but I like coding, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are the kind of codes that you can use to build a simple web page. So, and they're good skills to have. They can be used if you are a web designer. You can learn HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript, and it will help you making a simple web page or edit an existing web page. So anybody else have a question about starting to learn JavaScript? Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, it's difficult, but it doesn't take long to start making simple codes, simple examples in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Once you learn the basic, you can start, but do not spend a lot of time learning without practicing. You have to practice what you learn. Whenever you learn a concept in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, try to make a simple example like I showed you, like the one I talked about. Let's say if you're starting with JavaScript, once you learn what's a function and the syntax of a function, once you know the variables and how to use them, once you know about some of the events, obviously you're not going to know a lot in the beginning, but whatever you know, use it as an example to create code. So you start getting confident, you gain some confidence that things are working out for you, like example. Yeah, so again, the simple example will consist of assigning a variable. You have to learn how to assign, which is selecting a DOM element, which is, and there's so many ways, about four ways I think, to select a DOM element. You can use the ID or the class or the tag name, and so and then you have to create a function, and that functions will represent what you want the DOM element to do. What's the HTML element is supposed to do? Is it changing color, changing shape? And then for the function to work on the element, you have to attach it on to an event, because JavaScript is has event-driven objects. Like if you move the mouse, you can attach the move of the mouse to do a certain function on the element, on the HTML element. For example, you can have a mouse move event over a box, and then you can have the box change color or change shape or change rotation. That's an example. Or and you can also have a mouse move. That's an event, and you want the mouse move. You want the element to do certain aspect like HTML, CS, like changing the color, rotating, and or changing the corner. So basically, you can add whatever you want to do inside a function. So basically, yeah, in the beginning it's difficult, but you have to nail the concepts. You have to know what's a variable, how to select the element in the DOM element when it comes to JavaScript, and then you have to learn how to about the events and how to attach an event to an element, and how to let the function act on the element that you attach. So basically, event, first you have the DOM element selection. You have to select the DOM that you want the interaction to happen on, and then you create a function. The function represents what activities, what actions you want to do on a HTML element, and then you attach the event to the function and to the element. You relate them together, and once you create you cause the event in JavaScript, like the mouse move, mouse click, load, hover, then the function takes place because you already attached them together. So that is how the basic principle of JavaScript. I mean, it's very complicated and it's very extensive, but in the beginning you need small, simple example, and that will help once you start. But you have to nail the basics. So if you're tuning in, I want to thank you so much on this live stream. And if you have a question, let me know so I can answer it now on this live stream. If we're talking about making a web page using HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I want to grow it and I need your help. And in return, I will help you on this live stream, on future live streams. And if you send me a message, I can reply to you and try to give you the best answer I can, or direct you to the proper resources. Again, this is George Shamon, and I'm coming to you live from the US state of South Dakota. If you have any questions, submit it in a comment, and make sure you join my channel so we can talk more about web page building and coding and simple codes. So let me show you a screenshot here of the code. So this is the code. Let me show you. This is it right here. So basically, first I created the my container one element, and I use the var, and you can use the let, and then my container equal, then the document dot get element by ID, and box one between a single quotation, which is the ID of the box, and then the function I gave it a name, change color, and then between curly braces I attached the variable my container one to style, because I want to access the style, dot background color, and then I want to access the background color, and I gave it equal red. It means I wanted this function will make the background of the box red. You see how I attached it? And the second one is another function, change color to, and what it does, it changes the color purple, and then I attached it to the mouse leave event instead of mouse over before. So basically what I did, I made a function on and I attached it to mouse move, and then I made another function, attached it to the mouse away or leave, and those are two events, and they cause the box to change color in both cases. So this is an example of a simple JavaScript example. So if you have any question, please submit it in a comment, and let me know if you're interested in this kind of videos, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this content about making codes, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And also submit your question so I can answer you now on this live stream. I guess no more answer coming in. And okay, I'm gonna wrap up this this session, unless you have any questions you want me to answer now before I wrap it up and finish the live. Obviously, we'll have more live events, and submit your questions or get ready for future updates. Thank you. See you in the next video.